So in this video, I wanted to give you an overview of SmartAmp. So I'm going to go to smartamp.com. SmartAmp was created to give a co-collaboration and co-creation workspace for students to come in and work together. This can be more of a project-based learning style, but it's all web-based. So as you make things more student-centered and allowing students to come in and work together, that is what AMP provides. So we're going to be going to SmartAmp, and you have the idea of training here, support, and how it works. There's going to be other videos out there that you can log in on my channel just to get more specifics, but I want to give you an overview here. So we're going to be signing in with Google, my Google account. So when I do sign in here, it's going to pull me up to my classes that I have actually already created previously. So period 1, class 3. I'm just going to go ahead and show you. You have to add the class, join a class, and go to workspaces. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit add a class so you can import directly from your Google Classroom if it's already set up. And I'm just going to call this, let's just call this math class. So as a former math teacher, I kind of will throw that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. And now we have a separate section that we can go in and we can add student email addresses, or they can go through and take this code in here as well. So once we add that, I'm going to go back to my class. I will also point out, you can kind of see here it goes to my drive. So we're creating this. I'm just going to go ahead and jump back real quick and see that we did create that math class. So as I log into my Gmail account, and I'm pulling up from the same Gmail account, I get a lot of questions on what the back end looks like. So as I jump into my drive, we just created that math class. So what it'll do for you is it'll actually create a folder for you with all those digital workspaces put together. So here is what the digital workspace would look like. So still ability to be able to create your Google Docs and Sheets and have that live in here. But as I jump into my first period class, where a lot of my workspace has already been done, you can go ahead and open directly from here if you so choose. But I'm going to go ahead and jump back into the original just so we have that. So as a teacher or student, you can join a class from there. That long or the quick numbers that you had that showed when you were creating the class, students can type that in there. Let me go ahead and log into our first period. Here you can view your class. You have the different students that are put in there. You can add and edit this class as well, the same thing as before. You go create and share, as well as add your assessments. So in my create and share, I'm just going to open a workspace that I've already created, or I do have the ability to go ahead and create a new empty blank workspace, which if I would want to title it, has a few different options that I have, templates. I could download more Smart Exchange as well. But I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Just showing you that option. So here, sample workspace. Now when this opens, just kind of want to give you a rundown of all the toolbar on the left-hand side here, as well as the different things you have available to you. I think it's really important to understand, again, why this was created, where a lot of us are going towards more of a Google Classroom, Google setting, and they're finding some small roadblocks and barriers getting in the way. Some of those barriers might be formatting. Maybe they're wanting the turn it in feature, or the ability to take over student screens to kind of check in. Assessment might be a little bit easier through here, just being built in one platform instead of having to jump from Google Sheets to Google Docs and jumping all over the place. So the goal was to just build on what was wanted and take it to the next level and constantly make updates as we grow from there. So with that, in this workspace, it kind of reminds me of other sites where you can go through, and I'm not going to mention the sites, but just going through and actually having one workspace where you're looking at, where you're zooming in, and then I can add more thoughts and put a bunch of people together working collaboratively at once. And once you get all your thoughts built in, building a bookmarks. So I can go ahead and label these bookmarks and jump to my different ideas and share the screen. I can go ahead and move these around. I can delete them if I want or rename them. But it kind of gives you a feeling of being able to get as many ideas up there and then organize later or organize whenever you so choose. Another thing, when I mentioned before, was the formatting. So you have the ability to throw in images. So if I would search through Smart Exchange or maybe a web search here, I could go through cats, and I can just go ahead, and if I see this nice looking cat here, instead of having to wrap around text, just go ahead and it cites it for me, and I can go ahead and shrink that and put it wherever I so choose. With that, I also have the ability to do the same for YouTube videos. So if I would want to search cats here, I go ahead. Oh, that was a web. If I were to put a website in there, that's so if like Discovery Channel, I could go ahead and type that in and put that in. But I'm just going to go ahead and search my videos. I can get rid of that to search, but I'm just going to go ahead and type cats. You can go ahead and preview these. These have already been previewed prior to protection. So if I want to preview it, I'm going to go ahead and play. And that is the video that I wanted. And I'm going to go ahead and hit add. And then I can just move and manipulate as I want as well. What's kind of really cool with this, and these that have already been created, as I hit play, as you can see, there is no advertisements. There is no wait or delay. It's already ready to go. It's just popping up. So you don't have to wait for any of that time. It's all just built in there. So that's something we heard a lot of, is just trying to avoid those type of things and get right to the point of the content as quickly as possible. Here you do have your different text and colors that you can put in there, or different shapes that you want to add, similar to the kind of the notebook feel, and adding those in there, as well as you have the ability to build assessments in there. So I do have some assessments already built out over here that you can just add these questions and put them in there. Just kind of quickly showing if I were to create an assessment, when that does come up here, it's kind of hiding below. I'll just edit one already. So I'm adding a question. I'm just going to hit add questions in here. So multiple choice, yes, no, true, false, numeric, text, title of the question, add the answers in there. So some different things. You can put multiple questions in there, so it just allows students to check in. So different things that I see in this is just maybe arrows, and like you do this and then you move on to this next activity and then you move on to that one. It's still a little more project-based, giving students more options and getting to the assessments at their own pace. Other things, I see multiple students working together, and I'll show you that in just a moment of more like kind of higher level. But you still do have these chat features that a lot of people have grown accustomed to. One thing that I really like about it is you kind of see like little mapping features. So can anyone think of any other colors, or like brown, or I can't find the picture of orange? Okay, what do you mean? Oh, okay, so here we're looking at exactly what they're looking at in terms of when they type, what is on their screen. So you actually have a little bit more control of what they're doing. You also have this attachment feature. So maybe you want to attach a PDF or a notebook file. I have already done that. So kind of attaching your own presentations that you've built in there and allowing them to go through and review something you already did in Notebook. So you're allowing to navigate through and do that as well. So I think it's very important to also highlight this guy. So this one is your kind of control center of all your students, where you can, in this case, I want to hand out copies. So if I want to hand them out to individual students, I actually want to put them in groups this time, where I can pull them in automatically. And I'm going to go ahead and just go over here and filter out by groups. Let's put them in groups of 3. I just have generic numbers right now, but I don't want student 14. I want them with Billy Jones, so I'm just going to move them around. Student 2 works better over here, so you have the ability to edit those as well. I'm going to go ahead and hand out these copies, and as that is loading through, this way that you can come through and edit these groups later. You're not set in stone with what's making these groups, and I'll show that as well. But now you can see you have the different groups. So instead of having 30 poster boards to lug home, you can just go ahead and open up these individual workspaces for the students to work on. You can allow students to actually view other students' groups' projects if you so choose, but they cannot edit. All they can do is go through and view, and if I wanted to edit these groups, I could just go through and edit there. The Follow Me feature takes over the student screens. It's easy as turning on, turning off. So if you want to do a check-in to fix a misconception or to start the lesson, it'll just kind of take over the student screen. One thing that I really like in here as well is just being able to have a conversation with students when they come up like, hey, Sarah's not doing anything in the group. And then walking over to Sarah and saying, hey, Sarah, what have we done? It's kind of just a he said, she said kind of thing. Whereas now we can actually see what the students are putting in there and annotating. and you can see what each person is actually doing. The other part is just being able to type. So I'm just going to go ahead and click and then just type in hello, and then you have the ability to put equations in there as well. So just kind of jumping around a little bit there, but I just wanted to show you all the different features you have over here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into group 2. Just going to go ahead and open this workspace here and just kind of show you what happens now. It's the same workspace because they haven't made any edits whatsoever. Actually, as you can see there, I am playing around on my iPad right now where I do have that student annotating as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the black color, and as you can see, it shows up very quickly, so you can have that collaborative workspace where each student is working together simultaneously. So what that kind of looks like as a full screen and a kind of a higher level, if I log in and go to my brightness worksheet that I've already created with different groups, logging in and allowing students to post their own work, so they can take a picture of their work and upload that up through a PDF. You can see that here. You can see the teacher started off by giving lessons, the project brief on what you need to do, and then it had them break them up into groups, and then they're working out in their own little groups. So you have each of these groups working simultaneously, all these students working in the same workspace and putting their own pictures and their own work together, working on their final design and collaborating to create their own brightness display to create energy is what the draft designs. So I'm just going to kind of zoom out so you can kind of see the whole view thing. So this is the kind of the workspace that you have available to you. You can make it very kind of, like I said, student-centered, allowing them to come together, giving the freedom to work together, formatting, and as well as giving you the ability to check in, because in project-based learning, if they get too far ahead of themselves and they don't have the ability to ask questions, then they're going to get lost. But if they are getting ahead of themselves, you as a teacher want to know how well they're understanding it. So that's why you have the assessment built in there that you can quickly gauge to check. But you're giving them the freedom, and if you ever feel like they need that check-in, you do have that follow me feature to take back control and then quickly release to allow them to go on their way and to finish out the assignment. So hopefully this was helpful in giving you the overview of SmartAmp. This is that student-centered tool. You can use it, like I said, just web-based. So wherever you have a web browser, you can go through and project this and work simultaneously. Any device you want, so device agnostic. Thank you, and have a great evening. Bye.